Messi. Oh my goodness. Just when you think he's done everything, he comes up with something even more special. Nani. And then Ronaldo! What a goal by Cristiano Ronaldo! Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 5 of Soccer Card Collective. It's me, Azzurro, Luke from Masked Sports, and special guest, El Capitano of Double Coverage, Doma himself.
Thank you for having me, gents. Thank you very much for having me. I'm subbing in for the legend, for the GOAT, Vincent. So big shoes to fill.
I'll tell you what, he's not missing us tonight. I saw your stories. He's not missing us tonight.
He's having a grand old time. I don't know where, but it's sunny somewhere, and it's got a great pool. It looks fantastic. We're stuck in bloody lockdown, but that's all good. It's all good. How you guys going? Pretty good. You? Doing well, mate. Doing well. We're representing our teams today. I've got Juve. He's got his Manchester United jersey on.
I got Gymshark today. Sorry, boys.
You got Gymshark represent.
He's trying to get another sponsor, Lukey. Lukey's just trying to get them all.
If only.
Love it.
Well, I mean, you're going to be not wearing anything else but Manchester United after your boy Ronaldo joined. Is that right?
I eat, sleep, and shit in Manchester United, boys. Don't say that much. I love it.
Do you want to confirm or deny this rumor that you're getting all 3 kits this season with Ronaldo on the back? Confirm or deny?
It's partially confirmed to the fact of I kind of want to get Greenwood on one of the tops. I haven't decided which one, but if I can't decide on the top, Ronaldo will be on all 3 of them.
All 3, and rightfully so.
Yeah, 100%.
You wouldn't be on a soccer podcast without a bit of Avondale love from Benny in the chat.
There it is. You know, talk about that on the weekend about a few things that happened.
On Saturday
during the week. That was
not gonna lie. Don't worry about Ronaldo making his debut. I'm just keen to talk about that Avondale fiasco on Twitter. I've
heard about this. So there's been, I don't know, in the hobby of late, in soccer of late, people seem to be getting a little bit more personal than they have in the past. I don't know what is going on.
Yeah, I know.
Lockdown's getting to us.
Yeah, you know, there's a few channels out there. You know, nothing's happening in the hobby at the moment, so they just want to create problems. Anyway, that's their own prerogative.
We have a very big show for you guys. We're going to be taking a little bit of a different tune and give our thoughts on players from the past, but we do want to go over a little bit about the international break. Not too much, because at the end of the day, it is international football, and we can't wait to get the clubs back in action. But let's go through it pretty quickly. There's one match in particular I did want to talk about, but we'll cycle through. Greece with Kosovo, 1-1.
Is it the 4th one? Is that the one
the 4th one? No. I wanted to talk about Argentina, Brazil, and what the hell happened there with that abandoned game.
Yeah, okay, we'll keep going.
We'll get to that. Spain 4-0 over Georgia. Bulgaria 1-0 over Lithuania. Switzerland, Italy. And in this game here, Italy's gone 36 games unbeaten, which is the most in history. Massive performance.
I was going to say, I saw the stats for this. It was pretty crazy.
Jorginho missed a penalty.
Yeah.
Lemon.
The stats were just so heavily stacked towards Italy.
He's missed a few lately. His last few, he's obviously missed. There we go.
Yeah.
I mean, the lineup was pretty good for Italy. It's pretty much their lineup in in the Euros, except maybe Chiesa instead of Berardi.
Yep.
Aside from that, it's pretty much they haven't been able to get the job done in the last few games.
Interesting.
Then we've got Belgium 3-0 over Czech Republic. That's a good win for them. Albania 1-0 over Hungary. England 4-0. And in their previous game, it got a little bit heated. Who did they play again? From memory, I can't even remember who it was. Hungary.
Yeah.
That shot with Sterling ripping off his top and everything being thrown at him. That was incredible.
Yeah, definitely.
My boy scored twice in this game. Assisted. Lingard.
Yes.
Taking over from Dan James now that he's gone.
Now he's in my fantasy team, mate.
It's good to see him playing well, especially for England too.
Tottenham Tigers makes a good point in the comments. Yeah, he said Bamford's starting for England, so which is great.
Really?
Good on him.
I want to see a little bit more of Lingard, to be honest with you. I think he's great.
Yeah.
Poland smashed San Marino. I think Lewandowski got on the score sheet 3 times. Iceland 2-2 with North Macedonia. Germany dominated Armenia 6-0. You can see why we're cycling through these games pretty quickly.
Oh, we missed one thing. We missed one thing in the Germany game. One man did score. One man did score this morning.
Don't tell me.
He scored.
There he is.
He scored.
And he's going to assist there too.
He scored.
Goal and assist.
He's back. Lukaku, watch yourself.
And there's another guy who scored in this game too that I'm going to chat about a bit later. Karim Adeyemi. How do you say it? Adeyemi. Jesus Christ, I'm off today. I'm going to have a bit of a chat about him later. Just a quick one.
Beautiful.
We'll get right into that, I think, pretty shortly. Brazil, Argentina. So wild scenes. Scenes I've never seen before in a football match. Basically what happened was they started the game. Then I think it was about 10 minutes in or something like that. Some randoms just started walking onto the pitch, right? And started demanding that these players get off right now, right? It was basically the health officials were saying that the English Premier League players, so there was Lo Celso, Romero, there was 2 other players as well, had not quarantined. And they had to quarantine because they were coming from England and they hadn't noted it properly. And they came in during the game, completely shut it down, and people were just bamboozled. It was just unbelievable. Never seen anything like it.
That's wild.
I think one of the most famous pictures that'll come out of that is just Messi and Neymar standing next to each other, pissing themselves laughing.
Yeah.
They got their tops up and they're just laughing their heads off, looking at each other, what the hell is happening right now?
It is such a crazy thing to happen, but the times we live in now, nothing's sort of off limits, is it?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I heard
something like that out before the game. Come on.
I would have thought so, but I mean, they obviously didn't want to quarantine, which is fair enough. I guess 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there. It was out of control. But I think Brazil played a bit of a practice match on the field after Argentina left. But if that isn't South American football to a T, I don't know what is.
100%.
It's such a shambles.
Spot on.
Ecuador 0-0 with Chile. Paraguay 1-0 Colombia. Uruguay 4-2 Bolivia. Peru 1-0 over Venezuela. One that I want to just skip through to was USA versus Canada, and we're just going to have a little bit of a chat about this one, just quietly. I haven't told the boys. What was that we saw recently? And this is not to hang shit on America, because to be honest, our Australian team's a bit of a shambles at the moment. They smash us.
We know their shit, and we don't say they're good. You know what
I think that's the point.
Yeah.
United States team is way better than our national team.
For sure.
In terms of
Yeah.
Who didn't play in this game?
I don't know, but apparently there were a lot of people not playing in this game because the excuses were coming out left, right, and center. USA, Canada.
Yeah, McKennie didn't
Did he come
play.
off the bench
Gioreno.
maybe for whoever that bloke is that played striker? I have no idea who that guy is.
No, McKennie didn't play because he was banned for COVID protocols, right?
Oh, that's why they drew. Okay. That makes sense.
That makes sense then.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, let you know, like Canada's got Alphonso Davies. He's a dud apparently, so that's all right.
It's interesting to see him playing up on the wing.
Yeah, 100%. Well, he plays a bit of that role at Bayern.
Yeah. The Yanks rate the striker from Schalke.
Tottenham Tigers. The Yanks rate that striker from Tottenham. Hope.
Yeah, I've heard.
His cards are expensive.
Just a quick one on this, and
Go for it. Can't wait.
No, I'm not going to really go into the like hanging shit on people, but listening to Lou on one of LTB's podcasts when he got interviewed for 10 for 10 about 3 days ago. I'm just playing catch up with him at the moment, trying to get back on track. But just listening to Lou, and he gave a shout out to all of us and like
what a legend.
talking about us in F1s and stuff in the group chat. And obviously, this is relating to F1, but he's put on the broader perspective of everything, and he was just saying that we understand, and he understands like people mock people for not knowing the sport completely, and he goes, I understand that, but he goes, you can love a sport but not know the whole history of it, and I agree with that, yeah, because you're coming into a sport, you enjoy it, you like it, you may not have brushed up on your history on it yet, but you do know the sport for the current stuff at the moment, and I do agree with that. But the other thing he said, which was very interesting, and this definitely applies to the United States for the soccer market. And he was saying that obviously the rookies and stuff in general, with Russell and Leclerc in F1, it would transpire. I'm paraphrasing. I'm turning this into my own words now, but the way he spoke about it is the same with guys like Dest and Pulisic and McKennie. He said if there's a narrative around the players, they will take off first before a historical player will get that moment. And he used an example of in the NBA, and he said there was these young kids, rookies are taking off, and everyone's like, why is this taking off? This is bullshit, should be modern, blah, 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 blah. And then he said, until that person has a narrative, like they're not going to be in any limelight. And he actually used the Schumacher as an example, and that's when he spoke about us. And he said, like, the boys were telling me Schumacher, until he has a moment, he's not the narrative. All they care about is Hamilton and all these other guys, Russell and Norris. He makes a good point. So the narrative, for example, in that F1 will be when Schumacher has his documentary on the 15th.
Yeah.
Technically, his cards then should surpass anything in regards to Russell and Leclerc. It just makes sense based on that. But it's not guaranteed to take off. But to apply it to this, that's where I think it stands. Like, you got their homegrown heroes in Pulisic, who is Captain America, as they've nicknamed him, and they've got McKennie, and Dest is a great player. McKennie's good as well. Like, they got these three guys, and they're like the pillars and the cornerstone for this United States men's national team that did not qualify for the last World Cup. Did not qualify. And they've willed this team, this nation, into the top 10 in the world. Don't ask me how. Yeah. It's not an indictment on the talent. It's an indictment on the FIFA rankings, how it works. I think it gives a bit of false hope to that fan base, but it is momentum that they can use being in the top 10, going into a major tournament. But the fact that that false hope then puts it into perspective when they come up against Canada and they draw, and then they start using excuses. But it's all narrative driven. That's my point, boys. Like, sometimes,
but what's the narrative? Just because they're American, is that the narrative?
Well, that's the narrative. That's the narrative, and like, not for anything, those three guys play for three of the biggest clubs on the planet in Barcelona, Juventus, and Chelsea. So, and they're heads and shoulders above in terms of like talent than any other player in that team. And apparently, this guy, the striker from Schalke, according to Tottenham Tigers. Which, yeah, I'm not even going to comment on that. I'm not commenting on that. The same with Gio Reyna wasn't in that team either. So
yeah, I was actually having to think about this today. How about your modern and your vintage sort of guys, and sort of the difference between the two. And something I sort of put into perspective was people like being involved with something and being there for the moment. And I think that's why sometimes modern maybe gets a bit more love, because they're like, you're sort of on the journey. It sounds a bit corny, but like you're sort of on the journey with the player too. Like when they succeed, sort of you're a part of it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think that sort of plays a bit of part? Like say the US.
It is. It is the moment. Honestly, it is.
Yeah.
It's just the narrative. Source actually makes Source makes a good point. We actually he's the NFT we got on Tops. That's number 26 of 99, and we've struggled to sell him. We actually got him. Yeah, Matthew Hop. That's it.
He's moved to. I think he moved as well, didn't he? Or did he move to Schalke?
I think he moved to Schalke.
Oh, okay, because I knew he moved somewhere.
Who knows? Yeah. But it's narrative driven. As frustrating as it can be. Yeah. I know it's hard to it's hard to bite the pill on that stuff, but I'm the same. It's frustrating because then it's like you pretty much disregard people that actually have great knowledge and trying to help people understand the history of the sport. And I understand it's like, yeah, but the narrative is this guy's good now and this guy will come later. It's like, what, we're going to wait for documentaries to come out on all these great players before we actually start giving them some justice in the hobby?
Yeah.
If that's the case, then why aren't they worth peanuts? So we can go grab them, and then
exactly.
when they do take off,
it's a great point. I don't know. I don't agree with the F1 sort of. No, I don't really agree with what he said. I partially agree, but not
the narrative.
But I don't want to comment on here because this is for soccer.
Yeah, I understand. But the narrative behind that too is like I said, documentaries. They've got a TV show.
Yeah.
You got to remember that. If we had a Drive to Survive of soccer, and they followed all the teams in English Premier League, I know they got Sunderland till I die, but for example, they had an EPL version of that. Yeah, Tottenham
doing Arsenal this season as well.
Yeah, but just imagine. Well, that's going to be.
A shit show.
But just imagine they had a whole EPL one. An EPL one would be crazy.
Be huge.
Get more eyes on that sport. But that's. I just wanted to.
But how much more eyes do you want to get on the bloody English Premier League? Like, there's more people that watch that than the Super Bowl. Way more. Like, it's not even close.
But it's but for us, it's easy to say that because we know that the majority of the people watching it are from Asia, Oceania, and Europe, South America, Africa. We already know this.
Literally everywhere that's not the US.
That's right. It's once you grab the US market, that's when everything takes off. Unfortunately, that's honestly that's what it is.
So, guys, people who are listening to this, right, and you can hear the pain in us because at the end of the day, first of all, we came in as soccer purists or football purists, right? Before we even became card collectors, it was all football, right? We grew up with it, and the card prices of these young up-and-comers just doesn't make sense to us when we're trying to compare it to some of the people that people are flogging. Now, I honestly think it is all narrative, like you're saying. I don't actually think it's relevant, the performances that these guys put forward at all, because I genuinely think that these people do not watch the sport whatsoever, and that they just simply follow, is he American? I want to buy that card over somebody who may be performing a little bit better, but he's not American, right? And I understand the allegiance to that, and I actually respect that. I don't envy it because we've got patriotism, but we look at Americans and we say they're very patriotic, and I think that's fantastic, and that they'll put money behind their players before other people. Cool. But the one thing that really got me to get a little bit frustrated about it is I'm a big Juventus fan. I was talking about McKennie, and somebody said that Juventus should build their team around Weston McKennie, right? Fuck. That's where we stopped, right? That's where we're not having it, right? So I did a post, and then someone got in my DMs, I'm not going to mention his name, hammered me for it, right? Hammered me for it. I don't know what I'm talking about. Weston McKennie is unbelievable, all this stuff. And this guy is a prominent person in the hobby, right? And for him to say that, and I'm not going to say it, but he's very, very involved in soccer in America. Okay, I'm just going to end it there, right? For them to come out and say that, you're pushing a narrative much further than what it needs to be pushed. The fact that it's American is huge, and I understand they're going to be more valuable than other players. I put money into Americans as well. Caden Clark, I think he's brilliant in the MLS. I've picked up about 5 of his cards really, really cheap because
Yeah, you
not for
respect the
anything.
talent when you see it, 100%.
I respect the talent, and I think America's is a big play, right?
I'm not disrespecting American players at all because they're great players. Like Pelusic's a good player. I know I rag on him and I have a laugh and we joke about him. Go, Pulisic, pick him up as a joke, but it's a joke because it's a joke. I genuinely agree that he is a great player. Same with McKennie. I actually love Dest. I genuinely love Dest. I reckon he's a good player, but that's the thing that becomes frustrating. It's trying to break. It's literally trying to break through that barrier to have content. Like I know Pedro. I'm on here this week, but I'm usually watching the boys each week, and I see you in the comments every week as well, which is great. So there's an American perspective. He said I'm American, and we're right. Like
this is ludicrous. This comment here, right? Like to be honest,
Sancho's going to be
I just think that you really need to take a step back sometimes when it comes to investing. If you're American, right? This is some advice for some Americans. Think about where you're at, how long you've been watching football, right? And why you should be listening to people who have understanding of the sport if you want to be investing in players and understand why one player might be better than other and stuff like that, right? And understand that if you're investing because there's American, there's hype around it and there's a narrative, good. I think that's fine, right? But when you want to make comments like Sancho is going to be a better prospect than Haaland, and you've been in the hobby for 2 minutes, right? But that's even fine as well. People can say whatever they want.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, when you've got millions of followers, it becomes an issue because people are going to follow it and people are going to lose money like crazy, right?
That's the problem. That's exactly the problem. And
that's the only problem.
Honestly, the analogy behind it really is, boys, like we're Australian and you get someone from Italy. For example, Vincent, we use Vincent as an example. He's part of this show. He lives in Belgium, all right? We say us and we say Vincent. We're doing 2 different podcasts, and we start talking about NBA and NFL. The problem is this is where it's broken. The system's broken in the hobby because we'll talk about NBA and NFL, and unfortunately the American market, as much as we love it, and we've got a lot of friends there, a lot of people, not the main guys, because a lot of the main guys acknowledge what we do. That's fantastic. And they're trying to support us down under and in Europe, everywhere. But there's a lot of people in the market over there that are hobby purists and sport lovers that say, oh, NFL and NBA is not your native sport, so you wouldn't know much about this sport. So what gives you the right, on the other hand,
to start talking? Oh my god!
Start telling us about soccer when you don't know, like literally, like you can't tell if it's Arthur or Martha, mate, in the sport. Honestly, you wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah,
like that's the thing. So
this is, and like just to go off what you said there, it seems like people would rather people trust people who have big money in cards rather than people who know the sport and are talking about
100%.
That to me, it's a bit fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, because
but it's fucking ridiculous.
Because they're pumping the prices on these guys on the low end. They got the big following, like Dan said, and then they're saying buy this guy, buy this guy, buy this guy. So all the followers buy that guy, initially.
Yeah.
And the price run up goes, and they think, oh, if I hold this, like the smart people would just buy, and when the run up happens, they sell it and make the money. But the people that do that then look at that.
What did Pedro say?
But then they look at I've lost my
Sorry, man.
Sorry.
He meant Pedro. So anyway.
Pedro's in the comments. Rashford is better than Messi.
No, he's not. He's nothing around. He actually said that we were right. If you go further back, he actually said the take on what we said is actually correct.
Yeah.
And he's saying that it's growing in America because of like the immigrants and stuff, and like that information being passed down to the further generations and stuff like that. So, but the thing is, what I was saying is, if they sell those cards at a high because they've given that big play, then they start going as followers. Oh, you should follow this guy because he's finding this guy, and he's like, and then they buy into it and they keep pumping them.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people that are holding him, like we say, left holding the bag. That's what left holding the bag is. And then people turn around and say, well, soccer's just a pump and dump. It's because there's people in the hobby that have no idea pumping up duds or guys they're not going to amount to anything.
But
game.
I'll give Americans a very real example of how this has gone bad, right? Freddie Adu, okay? 17-year-old kid, 16 or something, youngest player in the MLS, absolutely tore it apart, right? Go listen to the podcast. Was it the Freddie Adu story, something like that? It's a tremendous podcast talking about him and interviewing him as well, and how the pressure of the United States, they even had Pele there and, taking him under his wing and everything. The pressure that the media put him under was so incredible that it stuffed with his head. It stuffed with his head tremendously. And as time went on, he tried to go to Benfica, went to Manchester United for a little bit, for like a second, and then flamed out dramatically. But if that type of player happened in the MLS today, the cards would be skyrocketed and it would be worth, they'd be coasters now, right? Josie Altidore is another one, absolutely, right? Big head as Alkmaar and did donuts from there on, okay? And I can see that in Gio Reyna. I really can, because not for anything, I've seen him play. He's okay, but I don't think he'll ever become
good against
somebody that I'll want to put money behind, right? In all honesty, would you say?
He's good against Freiburg.
He's good against Freiburg, right? But people, you got to put things into context, mate. You just really do. It's even the Haaland investors.
It's just the break. It's trying to break through, and not for anything. That's what we say. We keep persisting at it, and I understand where it's from, where it comes from. Listening to Lou gives a broader perspective on it all, because we don't live over there, and I completely understand it. But Pedro, not for anything, we break through to Pedro. Hopefully, Pedro tells his mates, and they start listening to us, and that's how you change the cycle. So,
Pedro reckons he ripped seats out and sets the stadium on fire. Not him, but he reckons he's seen it. Maybe he was involved. Allegedly, he was involved.
That was in the Copa Libertadores. Look, and if you've been fortunate enough to go overseas, you understand the passion. It's completely different to what we can produce. And look, at the end of the day, the MLS system is Americanized, but it has been very successful recently. The way that they have,
the MLS is fantastic.
They've brought things up. Yeah. I'm not going to read through all of that because we'll be for a while. But yeah, Beckham's been a good thing to MLS. They've done it the right way. They've done it the right way.
His son signed as well now?
His son signed, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But, I mean, they played against Canada and they drew, and, rather than take it on the chin, there's been a lot of excuses about their performance. But anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah.
We'll move on. Luke.
Let's move on.
We have some players that we want to go through. So we finished up the international roundup pretty quickly. Yeah. Let's get into it, mate. We've got one player for you. No, I loved it. We've got Karim Adeyemi.
Adeyemi, yes. He plays for Salzburg. He's scored 6 goals in 6 games in the Austrian Bundesliga, and he came off the bench today for Germany and scored his first goal. So yeah, and you can see if you go to, if you want to have a look at, we don't have it up here, but on 130 point, I just had a look today at some of his Sapphire Topps Chrome cards, and they've doubled in probably the last month. So people are really starting to look into those other places away from, say, your big 5 leagues or big 6 leagues, because we want to count League One in there. Yeah, and they're starting to look in some very alternative places. But he's going to be playing Champions League football this season anyway, so that might be another opportunity for people to get a look at him. A second one as well, don't have to get cards up. Gwen Doozy, I was talking about a few weeks ago for Marseille. He actually was a late call-up. I think it was an injury replacement for the France team, so he's in that squad at the moment too. Didn't get on the pitch in the second game, which he was a replacement for, but it was still good to see him in the squad and getting some recognition. And Baku as well, another one I talked about a few weeks ago. He was with the Germany squad as well. I'm not sure if he played, but he was also with the squad. So a few names there getting some international recognition.
There you go, boys. Boys and girls, listen to Soccer Card Collective because we've got a few little cheeky plays.
Of recognition, Lukey, you actually sent something our way this week regarding Jeremy Doku. Do you want to quickly just mention that? The 25, the auto that sold?
Oh, there was a Jeremy Doku I think it was out of 5, Red Refractor, wasn't it?
Oh, 5.
Top Sapphire. PSA 10 sold for $4,500 US.
It does place nicely into our conversation we're having just before.
What? Oh, buying, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We had a bit of a chat about it last night while we were watching the Formula One, but we were just saying, what's the ceiling with that? What are you paying $4,500 on that? He's not playing. He's injured at the moment. He's not playing He's not playing European football this season. If you're holding it to the World Cup, like I guess, but that's a lot of money to have pocketed away until the World Cup.
He was killing it before he did get hurt. But
I don't know. Champions League. I feel Champions League is the main mover of the market during the season.
Yeah. But he was, honestly, probably, would you agree, he was the breakout young talent of the Euros?
The Euro, yeah. Oh, maybe Chiesa and him in the same
yeah, fair call.
Same category, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Chiesa wasn't Italian. I think he would be going for a lot more. What did this one go for? American. If you forget about it. I can't find it on bids for some reason, but let's expand on it a little bit, Lukey, because look, the plays that we give are relatively cheap, right?
They're cheap, yeah.
You know, things to think about, and I think we want to keep it that way for the time being, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing that I like finding those cheap things that might go from $2 to fucking $5, and I'm like, yes, I've made $3 on this card. That's what I like. Yeah. I don't buy things to sell it for $5,000 because I don't know. I don't feel it's as practical as what people make it out. Like, it happens, but I don't think it's as practical as what people think.
But you actually said something about the person listing it for that. You know, he's not the stupid one. It's the one who's buying it.
No, right? that was on bids.
On bids, okay.
Yeah, that was on bids.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's what I mean.
So
like huge.
You buy a player like that, right? What's the thought process? But if you put yourself in the mind of the person who's buying it,
I'd love to have the buyer on here just to tell us what the fuck they're thinking.
Well, honestly, if you're saying that, it's just like, well, he reckons the guy's got the potential to become one of the premier players in the world.
If he gets a big move, like, how much further does it go? You're going to be waiting a while.
Positive said he was linked to Liverpool. He was, correct.
Yeah.
That's true.
But...
So, I don't know.
It's still not. It's not going to be a move for a while. Like you've got $5,000. You know, what's that in Australian dollars?
You can buy Ronaldo for $5,000.
Exactly. Like, I don't know. Well, it didn't make much sense to me, but you know, I'm not surprised by anything that happens in this hobby anymore. To be honest, I'm not surprised at anything. But yeah, like, what is the ceiling? What is the ceiling for that? I don't know. Like, when you buy into something, 100 mils of Chelsea and Liverpool. Like when you buy in at something like that, I don't know. Yeah, he gets a big move. Is he going to move much from? Is your card price going to move up much from there? I don't know. Maybe.
If he dominates, it will.
Yeah, but that's a $5,500 risk.
But if you think about it, though, is it like if your thought is to flip it, right? And he's already at a lower club, right? If you've created the base now, right? Because there's only 5 of them around. So you've created that. I'm just being devil's advocate, right?
Yeah.
So a move is going to happen, assuming he doesn't get injured, right? A move is going to happen. And then people will look at what it was last sold for, which was yours. And then you kind of sell it straight away. Holding it long term is ridiculous, right? And whoever buys it is ridiculous. But that little moment when it comes to soccer cards is potentially a play, and it might not be the worst choice in the world. I will definitely spend my money elsewhere, but I'm just trying to put myself in their mind.
Yeah, I get what you mean. But then on the sort of flip side to that, what if, say, an out of 10 selling for 1,200 as a PSA 10? Do you think the out of 5 raises that, or do you think the next sale on the out of 5 is going to decrease that? Because to be honest, the soccer market's pretty hot at the moment. It's the start of the season. There's still, Top Sapphire is still pretty new. Mosaic's still pretty new, even though the prices are pretty low. What do you think on that?
I agree with positive vibes. I think it's a huge gamble, mate. I wouldn't be doing it at all. Seriously.
No way.
There is so many other better places to spend my money. It's not even funny. Like what a PSA 9 Messi World Cup rookie card is going for like way less than that. You know what I mean? Like surely you're picking that up. Come on, man. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. That's a joke. Like, why are you paying that money? Anyway, that's fine.
There's some good.
There's a lot of stupidity happening in collectibles at the moment. But
there's a good question from James here. Maybe we'll come back to it later about the Pedri.
That is a good question. I did see that. Very good question.
Let's talk about it, man. There's no rules here.
Now, I actually haven't looked at the prices, to be honest, with Pedri. He's not a player I'm really looking into at the moment. Do you want to get some comps up?
Yeah.
I reckon he's properly rated. Pedri. I genuinely reckon he's properly rated. He dominated.
He's not a goal scorer, though, is he?
Yeah, I know, but he dominated at the Euros, backed it up into the Olympics. I know it's the Olympics, but dominated the Olympics. He literally had no days off. Barcelona had to send him on a holiday because he wanted to keep playing, and he's been good, like so far this season for Barca. So I reckon he's properly rated because he's been able to hold his own in major tournaments, and he did have his peacock that sold for 2K that time. Was it 2K?
Yeah, something around that.
Yeah. There's one listed at $9.95 now.
At a 28, 455. But the thing about the raw ones, paying somewhat of a big amount for a raw card, I sort of do understand that, because if you get it back in a good condition and a 10's a PSA, like you're already getting big multipliers on that.
There's one here for 1,500 with a few
Out
watches.
of 99 for 183, that's not that bad.
Yeah, I was just looking at that actually. I pulled his rated rookie Optic Purple Mojo recently. I'm going to send that over to HGA. I think that would look amazing in that slab. Look at that one there. There you go. So gold atomic refractor 45 of 50 went for 1,350 PSA 10.
It'd be worth more than Doku if there was a red refractor to 5 come out of Pedri.
Yeah.
And rightly so.
The auto 560. I've seen some Camavinga autos go for some big money recently.
This is going to sound absolutely ridiculous to some people that are listening. Like, you boys might even say it's crazy, but I'm putting Pedri ahead of Sancho. I'm putting him ahead of Bellingham. I'm putting him ahead of Reina. I'm putting him ahead of Doku. He's better than all those guys.
I agree.
He's better than Gio Reyna. He's better than Sancho.
Reyna, yes.
I reckon he's better than Sancho. I'm concerned about Sancho at United. I hope that Ronaldo gets his spirit and just puts it over Sancho's head and blesses him, and he turns him into the next Ronaldo, or else I'm not.
It's the thing with those English talents, the young English talents, and what the media does to them.
It's true.
So it's similar to like you were saying, the Americans and stuff like that. How that sort of media goes.
So Pedro said that he's actually got Pedri SD stickers, mega cracks, and adrenaline from this year.
He reckons Doku himself. Positive said Doku himself bought the red. I don't blame him.
It's possible. It's possible.
I don't blame him.
I mean, it's. I've got a few of his, Tops Now rookie card, the one with Messi. I thought that was a really nice image. Maybe like passing the torch type thing. But it's very, very difficult for me to say, Pedri is like somebody I really want to invest a lot of money in when you look at a Javi and he gets no love at all. And Javi, Iniesta, they're some of the greatest midfielders of all time. And this guy's kind of coming up. And it might be back to what Luke was saying, he's relevant now, but he's not really a goal scorer all that much.
You want to be on the journey with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sounds corny, but that's the only way I can put it right now.
Pedri's who we're talking about. Pedro, I'm keen to know the mega cracks. Do you have that slabbed or is it raw? I'm actually very keen because there's a PSA 10 with 2 days left and it's had 20 bids already, still with 2 days left, and it's sitting at a pretty 1,025 USD.
So Dom, I've got a question for you, mate. On like the exact same team, you're looking at Pedri, who's a playmaker, and then you've got your boy, this one over here, who is more of an attacking threat, right? Not bad, huh? I'm only learned for the best, You've got this guy who's more of an attacking, creative player moving forward. Yet I don't believe he receives as much hobby love as Pedri does.
This guy gets no love at all, man.
Is it to do with his age? Because he's like 20-something, like 21, 22, and Pedri's 18.
So unfair, though.
That's what I mean. Like even
honestly,
Rashford.
De Jong's one of those guys that's gonna. It annoys me with a lot of the Dutch, to be honest, because like him and Van der Beek doesn't get a gig at United, and their team could be very, very good. Obviously, they were okay at the Euros. They didn't have Van der Beek because he was injured. That's why he didn't play. They didn't have Van Dijk either. He didn't play. They're just lacking that offensive threat up forward. But De Jong played very, very well at the Euros. I watched every Netherlands game for that exact reason. I picked up a few of his select rookie World Cup Prizm cards, and I've got his rookie ticket from Barca. I got a red variant team all of that. I bought a couple. Bought a red reactive Mosaic Euro of him, a gold reactive Mosaic Euro. I love him. I genuinely love him. He's got flair to his game. I think he was very, overshadowed by the fact that Messi was there. But I love him. I genuinely love him. There's a lot of other kids in that team too, as well. Dan, I should go buy this. Really,
That's
really,
nice.
I probably will go buy that. But there's other guys in that team.
It's the one he said. Yeah, that's cool.
I think one of the best. Like, if I was to give a play, I would genuinely give Barcelona rookies as the play, based on the fact because of their financial difficulties, they're going to have to build up through these young guys. So the backbone of this team is going to be your De Jongs and your Pedris and your Dests and your Puig as well. Even
Trincao when he comes back.
Like, he has definitely.
He's going to come back a much better player.
Yeah, he's transitioned so well in the Premier League so far this year.
De La Fuente, I think his name is.
Yeah,
so,
he's at Marseille at the moment.
$28 for two of his rookie cards. I know they're both base, but that's his rookie ticket. Timor.
That's the Timor one, yeah. They're both Timor ones, are
they? $28 for two. That's a bit. Come on.
No, he's so affordable. You can just go around and buy his cards for fun. It's actually awesome. He's a great guy to collect. Some of the cards like this, obviously, his Obsidians and stuff are worth a little bit more, but
number to 28 for $109.
Yeah, for $109.
Didn't we see the Pedri before? It was like over a grand.
There's a gold reactive there.
Yeah.
There's another ticket.
Slabbed in a 10. There we go. Slabbed in a 10. $376 in a 10. He's rookie.
I'm going to get the thing on that.
Yeah, let's have a look. I'm going
to get the pop on that. I just reckon that he's just been, overlooked. And not for anything, he had Messi there. Now Messi's gone. Now Pedri's the golden boy there. So he's just going to have to just do his job, I guess.
It looks like Positive agrees with what I said before about his age. But it's still so young, though. Like,
He's very young and he's very good. But I don't know. I don't know. I can't give you the answer. I can't give you the answer.
It's almost like saying he's my age. He's 24. It's like saying a 24-year-old's washed.
Well, he probably is, according to everyone. He's not washed. He's good, man. If you watch him, he's so good. I'm not trying to be biased because I collect him.
No, definitely not.
Him,
I agree.
But he's just good. Like I like good talent, and I like guys when you watch them. Like
It's
PSA.
It's like Hobby sees anyone over the age of like 21 is washed. If you haven't won a Ballon d'Or, if you haven't won a World Cup like Mbappe has.
So the rookie ticket red,
yeah,
has a pop report of 20 in a PSA 10 and 5 in a 9, and then he's just his rookie ticket, not red, not the Timor variant. There's 34 10s, 35 9s, and 2 8s. So there's 71 in the total pop, and the red ticket is 25 total pop for the red.
Doesn't De Jong have a PSA graded sticker from 2017? He does, yeah. So I believe it's an Ajax.
Can you look up his cracked ice rookie ticket, see if there's one available, Dan? Because there's 7 in the total pop for that.
How many? 7?
7 total. So there's 4 10s, 1 9, 2 8s. I don't think there will be. I've never seen one listed. Never ever seen one listed.
Oh, Greenwood, bloody hell.
$8,000.
That's nice in a HGA slab. Not that I can see. Maybe in solved.
Maybe. But yeah, he's my guy. I love him. I'll keep backing him. I'll actually give you a bit of a comp on that. Yeah. Ansu Fati's rookie ticket red. There's 94. Oh, there's 138 in the total pop. So there's 100
the red.
So there's 113 more in the pop than what De Jong has. In the normal rookie ticket, there is 472 more in the pop than De Jong.
Wow.
So there's 543 Ansu Fati tickets graded.
But that's again the hype, man. Like everyone was talking Fati and slammed it into PSA.
And he's the other guy. So that's another guy that I actually forgot because he's been injured. But he's the other guy too that is in that team.
Yeah.
So that's I'm just hoping De Jong, being not for anything, he's going to be one of the senior members in that midfield. I know he's 21, but he's going to be
24.
Well, 24. Sorry, he's the seasoned veteran because everyone else is 18, 19, 20 years old. I just hope he doesn't get pushed out of the team. And not for anything, if he does get pushed out, I'll take him down at United in a heartbeat. I genuinely would.
But you can't play all these young guys together. You need to have some more experienced heads in there, at least experience at 24.
For the time being.
Yeah.
Hopefully you've got a young Dutch midfielder, mate. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
he's on the bench. When's Fati coming back? Never.
All right. Don't start there. You do it deliberately. I know you do it because you know how I feel about Van der Beek. Fuck.
Anyway, I think actually Fati's very, very close. Very close.
Return to training. That was about 2 weeks ago.
Sorry, Lukey, this is covering your face a bit because the thinking is he has X amount of time to win trophies at his age. You take a 17 to 18-year-old and they're thinking how many more years to win trophies. I mean, look, that's probably the way that they think, but stiff. In my opinion, it's stiff.
I think it is.
That's okay. It's good for me.
Dom's loving life here.
I don't care. Keep hating on him because when he wins, he's won. I'm pretty sure he's won Champions Leagues already. So it doesn't bother me. He'll go down as one of those great players. Probably not an all-time great. You never know. He could go down as an all-time great. You know, and then I'll just be holding all these cards and I'll be happy. I'll have a nice collection of De Jong and I'm not going to complain.
I have a player who is 19 years old, okay? So I think it fits the bill right, for the collectors out there.
Pass in the hobby.
Yeah, I get the pass.
I'm surprised he's not Serie A.
I am.
surprised
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were
he's not
Serie
said
A.
out this time. Exactly right. Not
Yeah.
said out this time. I stumbled upon this guy, and this red refractor is the card that I bought. Right, so this is my card. It's of 99, and
Wait, what? Wait, didn't you say you had a red one?
no, I bought this one.
Oh, you
The
bought
green.
this one. Okay, I thought you
I
said
bought
red.
this specific one here.
Oh,
His
right.
name
Okay,
is
don't worry.
Anta Badantea. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He is a left winger for Real Sociedad, and mate, go watch this guy on YouTube. He's an absolute baller at 19 years old. There's a little bit about him here, right? And they just go through in a lot of detail about him as a player, right? Now, I'll kind of just pick up like a couple of things. 19-year-old forward, you can play both as a winger and a striker. Most often you'll see him playing down the wings. Not especially two-footed. He uses his right foot 83% of the time. And Tottenham Tigers is on him as well, man. That's awesome.
He's got him good.
Despite this, he can play down both wings, as his heat map shows. He also played as a wing back against Barcelona. He is, mate, I tell you what, difference maker. So he's a right footer, plays down the wing, likes to cut in a lot. He's the
Plays
type
on the
of
left,
player
doesn't he?
that
Cuts in.
usually, yeah. So like, you see what he's done here. He's drawn them all in and he's pulled out back and
Which
just
spaces
like
it?
dictated play, right?
Yeah.
He's a fantastic talent. At that age, just seeing him perform like, week in, week out. And he's played 3 games already scored a goal. I think he provided an assist as well. Just, I watched his YouTube. I watched him a couple of times, and I read through Breaking the Lines article on it, and I was just like, hey, I've got to find this bloke. And I found that he obviously had a Tops Merlin and up to 99, and I thought for 20 US, thank you very much.
Is he in
He's
Mosaic
probably
as well?
one. He is, man. He is in
Yeah.
Mosaic, and there's this
That's what I wanna
Genesis
see.
that I was looking at. The Genesis is a little bit more pricey. But mate, it is an unbelievable card. Let's actually.
We love our Mosaic, don't we?
We do. We've got
It's a
a little bit about that later, if we have time. There we go. There's the Genesis. You can tell I've looked at it before. A little bit more pricey, right? But that is a card. That's a card.
That's sick.
That looks awesome.
The colours match so well with the jersey as well.
Don't tempt me, man. I'm gonna
Surely
buy
you can
it
chuck
right
him an
now.
offer. What's 130? While we're talking, I'll have a look at what 130 point is on that.
Go have a look.
You got to buy that. That'd
he's
be a
got
nice piece to your PC.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of, when you feel like you've got clout and you see like a rapper that's going to be up and coming, but no one knows about him yet, right? That's literally what I feel like with him, right? But mate, it is very cheap. It is very cheap. So I'm saying, like, people do not like follow my hype train. Do like, what I mean? This is just what I'm looking at the moment. Please, I do not want to be one of these people. I'm letting you know now. I am buying these cards, right? So like, don't go ahead and
all you
listen
need to say,
like,
Dan.
what do I know?
Oh, wow.
DYOR. But fucking hell, it's
Do
got
your
like
own
I was talking
research.
and I was like, oh my
Correct.
god, people are gonna think whatever. I'm trying to pump him, whatever.
No, you're
but
not.
man,
Hey,
like,
Dan,
I think he's
you
great.
say,
I
I'm
just think
buying
he's
the
great.
card. This is what we always say. We're buying the card. Yeah, this is the players that we're looking at. We reckon there's value in this. But before you buy it, you got to make sure you've got the money, first of all, to buy it. Obviously, don't do anything stupid. But do your research into it yourself before you buy into the card. Do your own research. Like, it's all well and good to trust us, and then you come back to Dan and go, oh, it's all your fault. Do your own research. Don't be a sheep. We don't want people to be sheep. Do your own research. If you're happy with it and you go, you know what, this kid could be something, then make the purchase. Because Dan's obviously done his research. That's why he's bringing it to the table. Yeah. He's done his research on it. He's done it all. So if you just want to go based on all the research he's done and he's seen and you haven't seen anything, well, by all means, that's you take that own risk.
It's at your own risk at the end of the day.
Yeah, correct.
Dan, as well, just on some of the prices of these, there was a SGC 9 that went for 56 US. Raw,
yes.
60 US, 65 US, 65
Uh-oh.
US,
Uh-oh.
70.
Someone's getting tempted.
That
He's gonna
SGC
buy-
at 56. That's great.
He's
It's already
gonna
graded
buy it
too.
on the podcast.
That'd be a
I've been
first. I've
known
never
to
seen
do it.
someone. I've never seen someone buy anything on a podcast live.
You
I,
should.
I bought a Zaniolo 9.5 with Saucy on the podcast once with the PWCC auction. I bought it live because it was happening straight away.
Pedro reckons he doesn't buy ultra modern unless it's Messi and Ronaldo, so no worries from here.
That is a excellent transition, boys. What do you think?
I like it.
We've even got people in the chat doing the segues for us. It's great.
I love it. I love
Let's
it.
do
That's
it.
an excellent transition because we gave ourselves a little bit of a task before the show. And that was to produce our top 11 players, right?
It was a very last minute thing as well.
It was last minute. It was
last
proposed
night.
by Doma.
Yeah.
I was just
First
talking
one.
on off the grid last night, and we said, and we just started talking about these legends and like modern versus vintage, and then we said, you know what we should do? It'd be a laugh if we came up with our best 11 ever, and then obviously Dan and Lukey were like, yeah, let's do it tomorrow night. I'm like, okay, we'll do it then.
Absolutely.
You already prepared,
Yeah.
Tommy. You already had yours in your notes.
Yeah, because me and my mates always have this debate. I don't know if Ben's still in the chat, but Ben and I are very similar minded when it comes to the history of football. So our teams are a bit different. They're not identical, but we always have this debate. And you know what it's like with your group of mates. You know, you talk about it, and then 6 months later, you sit down for a beer and you're watching a Premier League game and you're reminiscing about all the players that you've watched. And they go, who would be in your best 11? Then you just go, instead of thinking about it again, you go, here's my team. Bang. There you go. That's it. That's how you do it.
So, you know, there's Benny.
He's still here. He's still here.
He's seen my team. He knows my team. So
All right. So we're gonna
your boys.
I want to see Ben's team on Saturday.
go through it. Then Tottenham will go to that new signing for Brighton in a second. But let's go through to Doma's team. Let's bring it up. If I can find it, give me 2 seconds. I don't know why I didn't prepare this one for.
What a team. It's going out on the double coverage socials as well tomorrow. 100%. I'm actually, I was pretty happy.
I'm gonna get roasted in the comments if these get roasted.
Well, you got to
I
give
think
the
you
premise
might.
behind it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm not just picking guys for no reason. Like,
No,
I got reasoning.
100%.
It's all right. I got
There's
reasoning.
reason. You have your own opinions on what you want in your
Yeah.
team. I'm actually excited because I haven't seen your team. So
Yeah.
I'm actually very keen.
Now, Dom has spent a lot of time on these graphics. Here we go.
That.
That is special, lads. That is
What a
special.
team, man.
Take us on a journey. Take us on a journey.
Well, as you can tell, my bench is where I want to keep Messi, and that's where I have kept him. So, anyway, besides the point, let's get into the top 11 players that are on the pitch. So, Buffon in goals. Obviously, Yevaleshin is the other goalkeeper. Yevaleshin. I don't know. I struggle with the pronunciation of his name, but I go with Buffon. Obviously, I've grown up my whole life. I've watched Buffon play, so it was a no-brainer to pick him. Then my fullbacks, Maldini and Nesta. Cannavaro is the centre back, and Baresi is the other centre back. I've gone Baresi based on legend and wives' tale, and I never saw him play. But you can go out there and you can find some content of him playing, and he was a very good player. Obviously, the other three there, I've gone the whole Italian connection deliberately. You know, a bit of chemistry at the back there, working with Buffon.
You need that. You need that.
But those three there in particular, Maldini, Cannavaro, and Nesta, obviously loving the sport, and just watching them play was just phenomenal. You can argue that they're three of the best ever. I'll put my money anywhere and say that those three will go down as three of the best, full stop. And I reckon you'd struggle to find any team done by anyone. If you're saying best ever in the history of the sport, you'd struggle to find any team that would not have at least one of those three guys in their starting 11. Then into the mids, my second favorite player of all time, Zinedine Zidane got in there. Johan Cruyff as well, one of the best to ever lace him up. And then Ronaldinho, significant impact on me when I was growing up. Maradona on one wing, you can't not have Maradona in. Arguably the best player ever. And then obviously Ronaldo, Cristiano on the left-hand side, got him there. You can interchange it whichever way you want. I just wanted to put, like, the team is there. You can muck around with the formula as much as you want. But Ronaldo there, and then probably, I don't know, he's in my top 5. I don't know where I put him. Probably third favorite player ever. He's R9, Ronaldo. Another player that had significant impact on me as a kid. One of my earliest memories, because I got into the sport when I was about 10. When I was about 9 years old was when I started really watching it. And I remember doing renos at my joint, and we stayed at my grandparents' place. And it was during 2002. The World Cup was on in Korea. And I still remember vividly sitting watching the final with my nonno. And he still is a massive football fanatic. And he'd teach me everything about Ronaldinho, and he played in the same team as Ronaldo at the time. And he goes, "Oh, you got to watch this guy. And I remember staying up watching every Brazil game with him, and Ronaldo was he was unbelievable, man, unbelievable. And then on the bench, Messi, Beckenbauer, Cafu, Kaká, and then I had to go with a personal favorite. I can't have a team without Zlatan. You need a bit of arrogance out there. So that's my team.
If you needed a bloke who can do a very good headbutt, Adam's got your guy, man. He's got your guy.
I was considering not putting Cruyff and having Materazzi there and just teaming them up together. You know,
he won the World Cup for Italy.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the team.
So. Before we pick it apart a little bit, Lukey, I just want to ask Doma, what was the thought process behind putting Messi on the bench?
Come on, why do you?
Just because he had to. Just because he had to.
Well, I'll be honest with you. When I say he's top 7, yeah, I don't even consider those defenders, and I don't even consider Buffon when I say that stuff. Yeah, so I'm putting hands down. I'll say it right here, right now. He's not better than any one of those 5 guys or 6 guys from Zidane and Cruyff up. He's not better than one of them. I don't care what anyone says. You can debate me till the cows come home. He's not better than one of those guys. The guy there in the middle of those 5 in that hexagon, in the pentagon, or the pentagon there, the guy in the middle there is the guy that created him. The guy in the middle there, he created him. If it wasn't for that guy in the middle, you would not have the guy that's sitting on my bench. So simple as that. Along with a few other pieces to the puzzle.
If you had to pick a captain, who would it be?
It's a tough one. You go Cannavaro. You'd have to go Cannavaro. You have to. Can't go Zidane because you can't go Zidane because he just headbutts people in the thick of the games. You know, when the game's on the line, he headbutts people. So I can't afford the captain to cost me like that. So Cannavaro.
CR7 is your captain? No, that winning mentality. I guess it can be a bit selfish at times, so maybe not. But
no, Ronaldo wouldn't be captain of this team. No chance.
Very cool.
No chance.
Very good.
Ronaldo would get bullied by every player on this team. That's how what to do.
That's major.
Ronaldo couldn't tell anyone on this team what to do.
Zidane would slap the shit out of him. Let's be honest.
100%.
Let's move across to your side, which is taking a little bit of a different flavour.
This is mine.
More recent players.
It's a little bit different. I wanted to change it up a little bit because I sort of had a feeling what you guys were going to go for. So the players that you guys have got in, I'm going to just quickly skip past them, but I'll explain my selections for the ones that are a little bit different. So I got Buffon in goals, same as Doma. Left back, I got Ashley Cole, part of the Invincibles, Champions League winner, multiple league winner. You know, a bit of a snake. He went from Arsenal to Chelsea, but I wasn't complaining as a Chelsea supporter. This is definitely not the loyalty 11. Definitely not the loyalty 11. Yeah, Champions League winner. He's up there with some of the best fullbacks to ever play the game, in my opinion. Part of that English, say, almost golden generation that didn't amount to much in the end. But yeah, for me, he's one of the best, and that's why I've got him in there. Cannavaro at centre back as well. Sergio Ramos. I know people love to shit on Sergio Ramos, but again, multiple Champions Leagues, multiple league titles. You can't sort of you can't argue with what he's achieved in the game. In a Real Madrid, that era where Real Madrid and Barcelona dominated. To be honest, some of the other players I had for that position were Puyol and Piqué, just because they're three centre backs that were just always there in like that time, and that was for me like one of the best almost the most into football I've been. Was that period. I just remember how much of an impact Ramos used to have. Again, you know, a lot of people don't like how he plays and stuff like that, which is fair, it's your own opinion. At right back, I've got this hurts me as a Madrid supporter, but I got Dani Alves. I feel like I love the. You've heard me say it so many times. I love the modern fullback, how they're so attacking. They can still do their job defensively, but the attacking mindedness of the new age fullback. I feel like Dani Alves was one of the how do I say it? Like one of the first to really take that modern fullback role and turn it into what it is today. For me, that's one of mine. Again, Champions League winner, multiple leagues, was really, really strong for Barca. What did Adam say? Pioneer, yeah, exactly.
Pioneers.
Great word there. At CDM, I've got Xavi. Again, same with that Barcelona team. That's a lot of these players here are from that era, which I've just realized now, especially from a defensive aspect. This one, I was interchange between him and Iniesta. Had a little bit of interchange between those two, but I thought Xavi suits that position a little bit better, whereas Iniesta was more the going forward, the forward-minded player out of the two. Ballon d'Or nominations as well for him. Champions leagues. Again, the World Cup as well. I don't think you can really argue against what he did, especially that Barcelona style that they used to play. They used to play was just unbelievable, and they've again another pioneer for that style, the tiki-taka style. At left wing or mid, I've got Cristiano Ronaldo, as Dom has said before. Ronaldinho as well. I've got him in there on the right. I've got Zidane at cam. And then I've got Messi, unlike Domo, who had him on the bench. I've got Messi on there. You can't... He's one of the best to play the game. As much as Domo likes to shit on him, and I like to agree with him as well, but you just got to have him on there. And then up top with him is R9. And then my bench, I don't have it on here, but I've got it here on my phone.
You know, honestly, Luke, you were nervous for Dan and I to look at this team. Yeah, because you said we'd probably debate on it a little bit. Honestly, like, I've got no qualms with
there's
it.
definitely nothing out of, like, there's nothing controversial there. I feel like all the
selections... Actually, Cole is controversial for me, mate. In all honesty, let's be honest. Come on.
Invincibles, Champions League winner, Europa League, Premier League.
Right, you can win titles. You can be part of a team and win titles. Like, it's not... I don't know. I don't really know.
I don't know if it's a Chelsea.
That's in my opinion.
Chelsea bias. Yeah. No, that's fair. My bench was Casillas, Lam, Nesta, Iniesta, and Lewandowski.
Yeah, fair enough.
That was my bench.
Lewandowski, that's a good shout. Actually, that's a really good shout.
So, what do you reckon, boys?
I like it.
That's it. It's a great side.
You haven't got Maradona in your team, so like.
No, because I wanted to base it.
That's why I understand why you got Messi on the pitch.
Yeah, I wanted to base it more on plays that I've seen and I experienced watching and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
the way I went more about it. Yeah,
I like it.
Very good.
Who's got comments here? Let's read the comments.
No, you're getting a lot of love, Lukey.
Rooney was.
It is very modern, yeah.
Player,
no, Rooney was on my short list. He almost made the bench there.
He's a good player. Arshavin? Did you put Arshavin? Surely Arshavin makes it.
No Arshavin. No Arshavin.
Bentner? Peter Crouch?
Let's quickly go through my side.
Drogba was one that I wanted to have, but I thought that was a bit too Chelsea biased if I had him in there. He did win a few golden boots though in the Prem, so
he's a good player as well.
All right, we'll go through my side of taking their rookie stickers and try to put it in there into position as best as I could. It's a little bit of work that I did beforehand. Gianluigi Buffon in goals, Lilian Thuram at right back, Franco Baresi, Paolo Maldini is the two centres. Got a bit of Milan connection there. Left back is Roberto Carlos. And you know what? Not for anything, that discussion with Saucy kind of made me think about that. I was honestly going to put Maldini left, right? But then, thinking about it, he was actually right. Like, if you're going to construct a team, you would probably put Maldini as centre back and put Carlos as left if you were going to put him in the team. So I rate that, even though I do think that Maldini was maybe one of the best left backs of all time, but that's me. But in terms of constructing this team, I think that's a brilliant link up. Just in front of them, I would love to see Andrea Pirlo dictate play alongside Zinedine Zidane.
He was another one on my short list too. He just missed the bench. Iniesta just pipped him.
Just watching Pirlo play, like pretty much since he started, he's just intelligence on the football pitch, and that intelligence right next to Zidane's intelligence is just like, mate, they could write a doctorate on the midfield role. These guys have just so silky. They've got eyes at the back of their head. No one will be able to touch them. I was actually thinking about, I was thinking a little bit too much about how to play the game and thinking that Pirlo probably needs a Gattuso type player protecting him in some respects, but I didn't go that route. I felt like Zidane was great there, and them two working together, I think would perform well. Up top, also just behind the main striker, we've got Cristiano Ronaldo. You can't look at that position and pick any player other than him. Like, in all honesty, he's, just speaks for himself. Everyone knows him. I've gone Roberto Baggio, and the reason why I did is I had a little bit of a look at Doma's team before, and I was going to have Ronaldinho in there, but I had to go Baggio. That's where my heart is. Just what he did for Italy, the way he unified a nation. He put pretty much the whole country on their back in 1994. It was an incredible performance, and that's why he's there. Maradona got the shout in front of Messi because, again, I'm a big Serie A fan, and understanding what he meant to Italy, to Napoli, and what he actually got put through. And there was no. It was like the old school NBA back then, right? There's no yellow cards and red cards for absolutely nothing, and they weren't protected. This guy got absolutely beaten day in, day out, and was able to take a team that was pretty shit and make them win the Scudetto in the league, which was at the time the best league in the world, is just nothing that Messi has ever done, right? And that's why Messi's on my bench and Maradona's there. In all honesty, that's the reason why. And Maradona has the World Cup.
I think I've mentioned it before, but in Naples, he still means so much to them that on the trains there's graffiti of his face on the train. I couldn't believe it.
Everywhere. They named the stadium after him.
They named the stadium after him. Yeah, the graffiti on the train of his face. That's next level. And
Ronaldo's in all of our teams right now.
Yeah.
The strikers now would not hold a candle to this striker here, right?
Oh.
His ability, to turn on a dime, and just the explosive speed that he had, the awareness, he was phenomenal. Like, just that good a player. It was just incredible to see him play. That 2002 World Cup lives massive in my memory, because that's where he really, really turned it on. There's no better striker on this planet in that role than Ronaldo, the Ronaldo Nazario, if you want to call him that, R9. Mate, he was just something else. He was just something else. Unfortunately, he had a lot of injuries. But mate, I tell you what, they asked him when he rocked up for Milan overweight. I think it was, I can't remember who the coach was, but said to him, like, what are you doing? You're overweight. And he goes to him, do you want me to run or do you want me to score goals, right? And score goals. So, and then I believe he scored 2 in that game. Like, he was just absolutely incredible. So that's my team. I'm pretty much going to stand by it. And you're absolutely right, Benny. We've all picked Buffon. I don't know who you're going to pick in front of him because, I haven't seen anyone before him, and a lot of players before him could potentially go in front. But mate, he's stood the test of time. Who I've got on the bench is probably a little bit of a different one. I've got Marco Van Basten up forward, right? And I probably didn't see him a lot, but I watched a lot of his tapes because my cousin made me. And very much like Ronaldo, like a lot of intelligence, a lot of speed, and he could play his strike, I tell you that. These two, no introduction, Ronaldinho and Messi. And again, I've got the bad boys, Fabio Cannavaro and Alessandro Nesta. I think I was telling the boys before that I had these 2 guys in my locker at high school. Yeah. So yeah, they were exciting players. Did
you have a keeper on the bench?
I didn't have a keeper because I got 5 here. But I was thinking about putting Fabian Barthez or something like that, just for a laugh.
That the striker spot is like so difficult in terms of like
it is
outside of Ronaldo, but you can have so many guys in there, like those attackers, just attackers in general. There's a lot of notable people that were left out. Clearly, there's so many of them, but like Eusebio and Garrincha and Gullit, you can go on for days. Honestly,
Figo he was more of a winger, wasn't he? He wasn't a striker.
Yeah. Figo, great player as well. David Beckham, obviously didn't make it. Great player, probably not to the level of these guys, but still a great player.
Rooney was one.
Rooney. There's a lot of great players that we've seen in our lifetime, and we're so fortunate that
some of the Premier League defenders got done a bit dirty, didn't they? About Rio, would you put Rio in there? Not over those guys, but you'd have him in consideration. Vidic ahead of Ferdinand. Jeez.
Yeah, Vidic was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Vidic was unbelievable, man.
Maybe it says Rio's still around now. Maybe that's why people hold him in higher regard, doing his pundit stuff.
Vidic was so much better of a player than what Ferdinand was. That's my opinion. That's because Vidic was a psychopath as well.
Yeah. Good. Captain, Dan as well.
Oh, my captain. You can't go past Maldini. Has to be Maldini.
Who did you have?
Ronaldo's my captain. Oh, CR7. No. Yeah, CR7 is my captain.
Well,
he's my favorite player of all time. He's my captain.
I don't understand why Dan doesn't just say Captain Budgel, Coach Budgel, Team Manager Budgel, everything Budgel. If he didn't have Budgel in there anywhere, if he constructed a team and there was no Budgel on the pitch, I'd be like, that's all right. No Budgel on the bench, it's over. His credibility's gone. He's finished.
Hey, his credibility's gone is maybe Lukey because
come on.
Actually, Cole's a great player.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold that
shouldn't be there.
Now, guys, moving on. I did not plan to show you guys this, but for whatever reason, it came across me just during our chat. And, mate, I'll tell you what, check out these tops now. God. Jesus Christ, have a look at them.
I'm going.
Oh, man, all right. Let's just guess. Seriously? Let's just guess some print runs.
Hold on a second.
Oh, you want to see someone buy stuff on
have a look at this one here. Have a look at this one here. Messi, to the podcast listeners, we've got some Tops Now cards just got released while we were talking, right? There's a Tops Now card with Messi in the center, right? Flanked by, on his left and right, Neymar and Mbappe doing the most sickest pose I've ever seen. We've got Cristiano Ronaldo holding the Manchester United badge in a card. He's officially, I would say this is his first Manchester United card, is it not? Since the return.
It is. 100% it is.
This is it.
Second Manchester United rookie.
How do I buy 20 cards, $70?
Yeah, mate. Oh, you got to buy heaps of these, in all honesty, because if you're looking at a card, like Topps now has always been a play, right? But the print, but just be aware that the print run on this is going to be a joke.
Oh, it's going to be ridiculous.
It's going to be out of control. But in saying that, mate, that is a good flip. That is a good flip. 20 cards at 57p, 57 pounds, and you probably got to chuck some postage on it. What does that equate to a card? That you bring them to Australia, you sell them. Man, that is a good play. That is a good play. That is a nice card. What do you guys think?
I was gonna.
I'm excited.
What do you reckon? What do I think?
Messi's face is photoshopped. I was just thinking that, and he reckons Ronaldo's face is unusually shiny.
Ronaldo's got that. Yeah, but Ronaldo's got that. That beauty care going on these days.
Wow, they had arrives in Paris. Oh, is that new as well? The arrives in Paris one.
Yep, all of these are new.
Who wants a Messi one, man?
Has Messi got the same face in all three cards?
Yeah, bro. It's
That's pretty sure that's the same face. Both those two, the same face.
Oh my god! Right now,
look at that, man.
That's sick.
Like,
I wonder if they're going to do parallels of it. You know how they've been doing
They do parallels, so they do. Yeah. So that's a parallel. That's a parallel, and so is that. It's in random orders, right? So there's random.
Oh.
Yeah. So
show me the gallery. Yeah. Oh, you can get a black background one for Ronaldo. Oh,
how much?
The print runs. Well, the print runs. The gold is a 1 of 1.
How much is it available?
No, as in like that's the random variant.
Oh, I thought you could buy it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, right.
Oh. Just imagine that.
Because they used to have like autos and stuff in there. Like
yeah. Oh my god, it's over. I know what I'm buying tomorrow.
You got to chuck this guy in your cart as well.
They got more Holland ones.
I'm not wasting my money on that.
How about Gioreno? You pay?
Yeah, I'll take him.
But yeah, you got the bundle here. You got the bundle.
A bundle? What? A bundle? Who do I want in the bundle? Just Ronaldo. He's not even wearing. He's not even wearing the shirt. He's photoshopped in the other one.
True, and like he's wearing a t-shirt. It's a bit crazy. But I think it's what the t-shirt says.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
I apologize to your bank account, mate, because I think it's going to cost. It's going to cop a Rodriguez.
No, don't apologize to me. Probably apologize to my wife.
I've seen it come about. I could not bring it up.
What are these?
What do you reckon the print run, boys?
Of 80 USD coming out of my account.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Mate, are we estimating print runs?
100,000 for Ronaldo.
100,000, you reckon? How many people have just done what you did then and just bought? Like 20?
I didn't buy it. Not yet. I'll buy it tomorrow.
But you're
7 days. Like this time you've got a week.
Everyone just settle down. They're not going to sell out. It's
Yeah, it's unlimited print run, ladies and gents, within the next 7 days.
Yeah.
Then after that,
do you reckon it cracks? Do you reckon it cracks 100K?
I reckon it does.
I wouldn't be surprised if it cracked 100K. I wouldn't be surprised.
It has to, surely. Look how good he looks in that top. I can't wait for Sunday. Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, Sunday's gonna be huge.
They were saying he got a yellow card in his international game, which was the yellow card to get him out of the next game. So maybe that makes him fresh for Newcastle. Newcastle is playing.
Oh, I can't wait, man. It's game over, mate. On the weekend. 12 midnight is the game.
It's at home
Sunday
as well,
morning.
isn't it?
Yeah, at Old Trafford. It's going to be ridiculous.
Are we watching it on stream? We are, aren't we?
Yeah, man, 100%. Like, hands down.
Everyone, tune in for that.
Now we're going to talk a little bit about choice, but I think we're running out of time. So I thought that was probably the way. Maybe we'll leave that for next week.
Save it for next week.
Ronaldo, let's go! I'm so happy.
Just to sign off, guys, as we do every week, anything you guys are looking at in the hobby at all at the minute? Anything, any little sneaky plays that you're looking at in the soccer hobby?
To be honest, I missed out on a Gwen Doozy order at a 25 today. No, I wasn't happy about it because it was when I was eating my lunch. But that was about it. That's all I've been looking at. Yeah.
Doma?
Just the Chronicles, the Pitch King stuff, all the different levels. I mentioned it to you, Dan. I'm going to try and get a level 4 Zaniolo. I'm going to try and find one when it appears. So looking at some of that. But predominantly, ever since Luke really opened my eyes to it on Crunch Time a couple months ago, and he's really just looking at Mosaic. Any of your favorite players in Mosaic, the card's relatively cheap. Everyone looks at Prizm and stuff, and they pretty much overlook Mosaic. I don't understand why. I reckon the cards are phenomenal.
Stuff.
Yeah,
the low number stuff is.
Now, I've been buying Mosaic in bulk lots. I think I got 100 and something pink refractors, including some crazy players in there, for like $20, man.
Wow.
$20. So like you can just find these things, especially if you're looking at US eBay. You can really, really find these opportunities. And not for nothing, I've got a guy on Discord. He goes, I didn't have anything better to do. I just wanted to rip cards, and now I've got all these cards. I just want to sell them. Got them for 50 cents a card. There are some bangers in there. Like they are absolutely.
Can you send me his thing when we're off?
I'll send it to you. Man,
what do you rip, blasters or what do you rip?
I think it was blasters. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, but like Luke, you obviously, and Mosaic Genesis, positive vibes, you're absolutely right.
Peacock as well.
Peacock is very, very good. That's what we're going to talk about a little bit more. We don't have the time to delve into it. But Luke, you obviously are a big advocate for Mosaic. Like, what's the reason why this is Mosaic? Is it the RCs? What's the thought process there?
To a certain extent, yeah. I know how the market reacts to that RC logo, and for it to not react to this yet, when I first started looking at it, was probably something that I thought was interesting and possibly a play. I just love Mosaic. I love Mosaic in basketball when it came out by itself last year. When it was part of Prizm, I loved it then too. And yeah, it's just a card I really like, and that's why I've got some blasters on the way too. I've got hobby boxes as well on the way. I've got a whole lot of, like you're saying, the big lots, because I was picking up base lots for 1 or 2 US, and it had like my Osman lot that I got was like 20 cards, something like that. I think I paid 25 Australian dollars or something for all those. And just other lots, Sabozalai lots, Olmo lots, Baku, all different numbered stuff. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I just love Mosaic, to be honest. And that's my main reason towards buying it. And then, also that RC logo that they don't have in other brands was also an interesting bit.
I think it just seems like blasters seem to be so cheap and affordable and readily available in the States that they just buy them and go crazy with them and then sell them off as a lot, get more than their money back. Like, I understand that it seems like a great deal for us, but for them, they probably doubled their money. You know what I mean? And they were able to rip and see if they could get like a Ronaldo or something, somebody that they know.
The blasters usually retail for what, 20? I think they're 20 US from the store. So if you're selling, I bought a few for 25 recently. So I'm happy to pay, $5 US compared to what you usually pay on, what's a Prizm blaster worth these days for NBA? A shitload more.
Yeah.
Even select blasters and everything like that. So when you can get blasters at pretty close to, if not retail, like I'm buying some. I think it's something worth it.
Just a quick one for you, Dan, before you do want to wrap up. There's 2 Genesis Prizm Mosaics, Mosaic Genesis Prizms that are for sale at the moment. One is a Federico Chiesa. It's a $199 or best offer. But the other one, which I think is the one that you would like to probably pay more attention to on bids, no bids, there's a day left, is a Nicolò Zaniolo Genesis.
Wait, is it from the States?
It is from the States. It's at $60. No bids.
Really? How long left?
1 day, 21 hours. He's done.
Look at him.
I got it. Yeah, I got it. I had to
So
try
2
and get
days.
it.
It's still got another 2 days, pretty much.
That's right. It's okay.
Or would you rather that other guy you were talking about before? The
Oh, mate,
Sociedad winger.
there's not even a question.
It's over.
Whoops.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's really, really nice. Also, if you want to just, I got a notification about it. Here we go. Here we are.
Oh, no.
While we're on the topic,
Positive reckons he likes blasters better than hobby.
10 hours left, my
Look at
friend.
that.
Of
Jeez.
15 blue.
That's
That's what
77.
The numbered cards in this look so good. Even the ones from H2, like the what are they called? They've been
That's
calling them
sick.
circles or bubbles, or they used to be called fast break. But
Yeah, the
they just
circles.
look
Yeah.
so sick.
Mate.
Awesome.
And like positive vibes, I tell you what, they're a little bit more expensive, but the Topps Chrome blasters, I've ripped them in Carnival Hobby Breaks. Go check it out on Facebook. Ask us to join, and we'll let you in. It's a good time. But I've ripped it for people personally, and mate, the cards that you can pull out they're just incredible. The Jogger Benito cards, have you seen those? I pulled out the Jogger Benito card, and it was like of 99 Lewandowski. The guy I pulled it for was just losing his mind. It just looks so good.
Even the
good.
Merlin ones you were ripping were good as.
They're so nice, man. And so many, like, you can get really, really good players. You get the X-Fractor pack as well for, like, I think you can get them for, like, I think they're about 60 or 70 US. So they're a little bit more pricey, but man, worth it. Well worth it, in all honesty, like what you get in there. And it's, I don't know, I find positive vibes, like if you're just going to rip as part of the hobby, you know, soccer blasters is probably the way that you can do it cheaply. I don't know how long it's going to stay like this, in all honesty.
Think if you are going to rip hobby of any product, though, I'd probably say Euro Mosaic just because the price of it. Maybe
I'm going to rip one in about 10 minutes.
A hobby box? Or
blaster?
No, blaster, yeah. I was going to say.
Oh, you're saying hobby box of Euro Mosaic?
Yeah, I was saying hobby. If you had to rip any hobby box in the soccer market, I'd probably be ripping that Euro Mosaic just because the price of it's ridiculously cheap.
Yeah. Love it. Good stuff, guys. Great episode of Soccer Card Collective. We're signing off now from Dom. Thank you, mate, very much for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Lukey.
Appreciate it.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Soccer Card Collective on the Double Coverage Media Network. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell icon to know when we go live. Also, feel free to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time. Peace.